Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video because we are going to be doing the 28 things I've learned in 28 years. Yesterday was my 28th birthday. I did post a birthday giveaway video. I'll leave that link below, so feel free to go and enter if you are interested. But I know that a lot of people did this video, I feel like, last year, and I felt like I wanted in on the fun this year. So this is probably going to be the most personal video that I posted, just because, like, I mean, the things that I wrote down in my notebook are like personal lessons or personal things to me. But I've always been like a big fan of like deep inspirational quotes. Not that we really have me going here, but I thought this would be a really fun one to do. Now, I will give a quick disclaimer. If you have children around or you happen to be offended by foul language, this probably is not the video for you. Or if children are around, I would either put headphones in or maybe save this one for later. Like I said, this is probably the most personal video I've done, and well, I have a bit of a sailor's mouth, so as I was writing this, I wanted it to come from like my like personal language and what I would like truly say. So there's some F-bombs in here and things like that. I really do like hold my language back a little bit on my YouTube channel. There's a saying about how the people who have like the worst potty mouths are also like the most honest, and I am a firm believer in that. Everyone that I work with knows, like, they like laugh at how bad my language is, truly. So now that you've all learned a little something about me, if you're interested in the 28 things I've learned in my 28 years of life, then stay tuned. But first, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you consider doing so before you go, as long as I haven't already offended you. I post videos every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, you guys, I know like some of these kind of like go together, but they're also like so random and out of order. I just wrote them in like the way that they came to my mind. So starting with lesson numero uno, life is fucking short, so live it how you want to and spend as much time as you can with the ones that you love. This one is actually super meaningful to me because when I was 22 or 23, my dad was diagnosed with cancer for the 4th time, I believe, and it did ultimately end up being something that took his life. My dad was only 64 when he passed away, which isn't like the youngest but also isn't the oldest, and I miss him dearly every single day. So all I have to say is spend time with the people that you care about and the people you love, and don't waste your time with the people that you don't really care about. Lesson number 2 is turn your damn phone off from time to time. I used to get caught in the habit of literally spending every second I could on the phone. My friends and I would be out to lunch, dinner, whatever, and like we would all just be scrolling through our phones and not even like having a conversation. So now I make it a point that like when my daughter gets home from school, my phone goes away. I don't go on my phone like right after waking up. In fact, like on my days off from work, I literally try and spend as little time on my phone as possible. I make sure I turn my phone off at least an hour before going to bed. And this just kind of ties back to like spending time, like actual quality time with the people you care about, not just like sitting with them and scrolling through your phone or whatever it is, social media, watching TV like all the time on the computer. Just turn the electronics off from time to time. Next up is one that took me a long time to learn, and again, these are all super personal, but for me, just get your ass up and go to the gym. Stop making excuses. You never regret one workout. I don't think I've ever regretted one workout in my entire life. And for me, I do deal with some anxiety. It's not like extreme by any means, but I find that I just like am so much less stressed out if I spend an hour a day at the gym. It doesn't even matter if all I do is like walk around the track or walk on the treadmill. Literally, to just put my headphones on and spend an hour just like with myself, exerting some sort of physical energy, is so good for my mental health, for my soul. So I know that there's times where I don't necessarily prioritize this, so I just want to make sure I make it a priority as many days a week as possible. Number 4 also took me a really long time to learn, but it is being independent is both fun and important. I was in a 5-year relationship, like from high school into most of my college years, and when my boyfriend and I broke up, I was devastated. I thought it was like literally going to end my life, but probably like 4 to 5 months later, I literally lived the best years of my life. I had so much fun. I loved to be independent. I loved to be on my own, and I just really want to make sure that going forward I don't put everything or like all my eggs in one basket, and like I'm making sure like I'm taking care of myself, and like I'm able to be independent. I'm able to support myself no matter what. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with this one. Number 5 is you don't have to like everyone, but you should be kind to everyone, unless they're like horrible people to you. And there's just, I mean, there's not really a whole lot more to say about this, but I really try my best to be as nice as possible to everyone, even if they're not treating me the best, because you don't know what they're going through, and more importantly, being mean to someone just like brings me down. So even if someone's being mean to me, I feel better about myself when I'm kind or just a good human being. So just continue to do that. Number 6 is you have plenty of time to be an adult, so you should act like a kid as often as possible. And this is just like a promise that I've made to myself. I don't care if people like call me immature. Like, I liked to act childish. Like, I like to act like a child in a way of like, I like to have fun like a kid. I still like to go, you know, to amusement parks. I like to like play at the park with my daughter. Like, I literally like to like ride the slides. Like, I just like to act as young as possible. I'm always gonna want to do that. I like to laugh at myself. I like humor. You know, there's too, like, life is too short to be so serious. So just act as young as you can. Number 7 is just travel often. I know like traveling just like speaks to my spirit, speaks to my soul, so I want to travel as often as possible. Number 8 kind of ties back to the act like a kid, but this is like, someone said this to me one time and it has stuck with me because it's so true, and this is like a true lesson I feel like I've learned. Just bear with me here. The youth is wasted on the youth. And what I mean by this, or what I think is meant by this, is all growing up, like all when we were young or a youth, all we wanted to do is be older. And now that I'm older and have bills to pay, have a kid, have a husband, have, you know, all these responsibilities, I just want to be a kid again. So the youth is kind of wasted on the youth. I would give anything to go back to my youth. Number 9 is one that I still struggle with this one all of the time. You can't take your money with you per se when you die, but you also have to pay your bills. So for me, I have racked up so much credit card debt in the past, and right now I'm starting to like get back on track, feel like better about where I'm at financially. So while I still want to enjoy myself, have fun, buy nice things, I also want to like have a savings account, be able to pay my bills, be able to, you know, help my daughter out with college down the road. So that would be number 9. Number 10 is a spray tan won't fix everything, but it sure will help. And for me personally, this just comes down to like when I go on vacation or like even day-to-day life, I just always feel better about myself when I have a spray tan. As bad as that sounds, that's super superficial, but it's just the truth. Number 11 is never, I repeat, never, ever, never bleach your hair without a professional. This is a lesson that I learned the hard way. I thought, I can bleach my hair on my own. I can go from literally this color to like literally platinum blonde, or like that beautiful like gray pastel purple. And it has taken me 2 years to recover, and I haven't even fully recovered in terms of like my hair quality. So, you know, if you are sitting at home thinking to yourself like you want to try and bleach your hair on your own, I just wouldn't. Number 12 is one that I have learned within the last like 2 years, I'd say, but meditation isn't just for hippies. It can be really good for the soul. And for me, I just thought meditation was silly. It wasn't for me, but I downloaded the Headspace app last year, and it has made such a difference in my life. It has helped me be less angry. Not like it has helped me, how do I put this? My husband and I, like when we get into fights, I don't like snap as quickly. Like it's helped me create like a barrier between like my response, my immediate response, and like how I feel immediately like when something happens. This probably is making no sense, but I would highly recommend trying meditation even for 5 to 10 minutes a day. That's honestly all I do. I wake up early enough before work that I can meditate for 10 minutes, and let me tell you, it has made such a difference in my quality of life. Number 13 is to always be learning and to continue to stay educated. And for this, I just want to make sure that I'm always trying to learn something new. I love to read. I love to learn new things. And on top of that, I always want to stay educated so I don't sound stupid when I'm trying to be in a conversation, or if someone tells me about like a current event that I have no idea what's going on. Like, you know, it's important to like understand what's going on in the world. Sometimes I like to block it out because there's just so much negativity and so many bad things going on that I don't like to stay up to date on current events, but at the same time it is so important. So I have learned over the years it is important to stay educated. Number 14 took me a long time to learn too. It wasn't until I was like 23 that I really learned this, and it's to wash your fucking face. Until I was 23, I wouldn't wash my face. I don't even know how I would like get my makeup off between like say I would wear makeup Monday, I wouldn't wash my face, and then Tuesday I would just apply more makeup. Now, I wasn't wearing a bunch of foundation or anything at that time, but I was never like washing it off. I didn't have makeup wipes I was taking it off with, so that's just so grimy to think about. But yeah, I would like to keep this face looking as youthful as possible, as long as possible, so I need to continue to keep washing my face. To go along with that, my number 15 is that skincare is fucking expensive, but it is worth the investment. And that's again just because I want to keep this face looking as youthful as possible for as long as possible. Number 16, I have time for yourself is important and you shouldn't feel guilty about it. This is something that, especially after having kids, has been really hard for me, but it is so important to take time for yourself, to do things for yourself, and to take care of yourself. Because if you're not doing those things, then how can you really be a good person for other people? And once I started to like actually feel okay with putting myself first at times, not all the time, I noticed a huge change in my quality of life as well. Number 17 is coffee is your literal best friend. Always will have your back. And you should probably learn to like it before you start college. It took me until after college to learn to like coffee, and boy, would it have been helpful. Would it have been helpful during college? So if you're watching this and you know, you're getting ready for college, I would highly recommend you start learning to like coffee now. Number 18 is forgive, forget, and move the fuck on. Seriously, I think back to like just petty ass fights that I used to have in elementary school, middle school, and high school. And then I think to like college, when you learn that like it literally doesn't matter. Like you need to just get over it, unless like someone kills your dog. You need to just get over it, because it doesn't help you to hold on to it. Now, that's not saying if someone really hurts you, you don't have to be friends with them again, but forgive them, forget about it, and move on. You're not helping anybody by holding on to resentment or things like that. Number 19 is work your ass off and be proud of your accomplishments. This is something that I've really started to do over the course of the last few years. I've always been super like a go-getter and like wanting to do more. So both at work, I try and work my booty off, and then on top of that, like I have YouTube as a hobby, so I really try and work as hard as I can on my YouTube channel. I know sometimes it's hard because I also have a family, but I really try and work as hard as I can towards everything, because if you're gonna do something, like why not do it to the best of your ability? Otherwise, just like don't do it at all. That's kind of like another lesson mixed in. Number 20 is probably one of the most important on my list, and it's just to be grateful. To be grateful for what you have. Again, one of the best things that I ever did for myself was start a gratitude journal, and every single morning I wake up and write at least 5 things down that I'm grateful for. Now, sometimes I repeat from day to day, And I know some of us have less than others, but it's truly just finding, you know, 1 or 2 things even that you are truly grateful for in your life. And the more that you focus on the things that you're grateful for, the more good things that will come to you. If you guys know anything about the law of attraction, that's kind of like basically taking things from the law of attraction. But I truly believe this. I truly believe this. Even if you feel like you're watching this and you're like, how can that be? Like, I just, you know, had like these horrible things happen to me, or I literally feel like I have nothing. Just find one thing throughout the day to be grateful for, and the more often that you do that, the more good things you're going to find in your life, and the better you're going to feel, and the more good things that are going to come to you, because you're really going to start noticing those good things, and it's going to leave less time to kind of, you know, think about bad things. So take that for what it is. Number 21 is a quote that I saw online, and I thought this was the most accurate thing I've ever read, and it's comparison is the thief of joy. And that is so true. And in this day and age, that's so hard when there are these, you know, Instagram models everywhere. There's like there's all these self-made like entrepreneurs, like there are so many successful people out there, but the more you compare yourself to others, first of all, that's a waste of time. You're wasting time that you could be doing things to better yourself, to get to where they are, to get to where you want to be. And second of all, it's one of those things again that like it's not going to help you at all. Comparison is literally the thief of joy. That is such an accurate statement. So take notes on that one. Number 22 is surround yourself with people that love you, inspire you, and motivate you. You don't have time in your life to have anyone else in it that isn't loving, caring, inspiring, or motivating. Don't have time for negativity. Like, you literally don't. Time to cut those people out. Number 23 is that love isn't everything. It's not a fucking fairy tale, and it's hard ass fucking work. And this took me so long to realize. In fact, my husband and I were literally this close to divorce probably a year and a half ago, and then we just like laid it out on, and then we sat down one day and just laid out on the table like what we felt like we weren't getting from one another, and we have worked our asses off every single day since to make it work, and our relationship is definitely better than it ever has been. But I think it's once you realize that like it's not just like easy. It's not just like you come home every day and you know you feel like super happy to see that person. There are days that I like dread coming home because I just like want to be by myself, or my husband pissed me off that day and I'm just like not wanting to see him. But I think the harder that you work at your relationships, the better off you're gonna be, obviously. But I think it's just important to realize that love is not an easy thing. It's not, you know, there, maybe you believe in soulmates, maybe you don't. I feel like I've learned that I don't, because no matter what, you're still gonna have to put work into your relationships. I don't know. Number 24 kind of has to do with like what I explained about my dad, but it's that grief will sneak up on you. When you least expect it, and you should just embrace it. For the longest time after my dad passed away, I felt like I just had to be like this strong person with like this hard exterior that wasn't sad, and didn't care, but like, you know, like it didn't affect me that much. Like, you know, I was gonna make it no matter what, which I was, and I have been. But it's also okay to like accept the fact that like, yeah, it really does suck, and you can take time to be sad about it. And there's days where literally out of nowhere I will think something about my dad and I'll be sad about it. And I think for the longest time I felt like that wasn't okay, and now that I realize like it's okay to be like pissed sometimes and to be sad, the more that I realized that, the better off I've been with my relationship, just with the whole like situation. My dad never got to meet my daughter. My dad didn't walk me down the aisle for my wedding. I mean, I got married in a courthouse, but he won't get to walk my sister down the aisle, and things like that really fucking suck. But at the same time, like, I know he's always here with me. There have been times where like I've literally asked for signs that he's there, or like asked for guidance from him, and he has literally answered. I'm not even making that up. So even though the situation sucks, there are still positives in it, and I think it's just important to always find some sort of positive in everything. And on a more lighthearted note, number 25, so I am from Minnesota, and my number 25 is the Minnesota Vikings, my favorite football team. We'll probably never win a Super Bowl. Let's be real. They're just not gonna. Number 26 is also super lighthearted. Sorry I got super deep in this one. I hope I'm not like offending anyone or like annoying anyone. But number 26 is that tacos / nachos will literally make any situation better. Any situation. Tacos and nachos. They always got your back too. Number 27 is that failure will go away, but regret will haunt you forever. So take risks. Do it. If you fail, get the fuck up again. But if you don't take the risk and you don't do it, and you're literally always going to be sitting there wondering, you're going to be like 85 years old, sitting in a wheelchair in the nursing home being like, God darn it, why didn't I do that? And do you want that kind of regret resting on your shoulders when you're 85 in the nursing home? No, you don't. So just go for it. I was recording so long that my camera literally cut me off. I haven't had that happen yet with my new camera. But number 28 is that it is super important sometimes to slow down to then speed up. And what I mean about that, this is something that like personally kind of relates to work, but sometimes you have to slow down in order to be better and make more progress in the future. So an example would be like, for a long time I felt like I would come home from work and then I would try and film my YouTube videos just because I felt like I had to get them up, or I had a different like filming schedule in my mind, but it just really didn't work for my schedule. So then like I took a week off of YouTube so that I could, you know, really plan my content out, really take time to like film good videos, in my opinion. I mean, I'm still working on filming good videos, but sometimes you just have to stop and slow down. And that's hard sometimes for people who are just go, 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 go. But sometimes you really do have to stop and slow down in order to make yourself better, so that then you can speed up and make better decisions, better progress, move forward better in the future. I feel like I did a horrible job at explaining that. But those are my 28 lessons that I've learned in 28 years. This was a really fun video for me personally to film. Again, this is kind of like a personal video too, so I'm like a hair nervous to post this, but I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you guys will also leave me a comment with a couple of lessons that you feel like you've learned, or even like inspirational quotes. I love a good inspirational quote. So leave me something down below in the comments. Other than that, you guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do so before you go, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.